Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a Bakugou X Reader by Asian Panda Ami on Wattpad, so let's get into it. Lion was a pretty normal kid, and she had a quirk, and a pretty alright social life. One day a guy from her class had confessed to her. "I've liked you for a long time. You've always been kind to others, and I like that about you. Can we go out?" The guy asked her. Her eyes widened. It was the first time someone ever confessed to her. Since she didn't have any time to think about it, she responded to him. I see. Then we can," she replied. The guy snickered at her. "Wow, you really would date anyone, huh? Guess the rumors are true," he said. Her face went from red to pale in an instant. "People are gonna eat this up tomorrow. Ellen would date anyone," he told her. "No, she mumbled and fiddled with her fingers. She felt as if she couldn't speak up, as if she were a deer being cornered by a mountain lion. "What, are you gonna tell Bakugou?" he teased her. She looked up at him in his eyes. "Don't involve him in this," she yelled at him. He pretended to back up and put his hands up. "Wow, Miss Eager's yelling at me," he teased her as he laughed. He left the classroom and slammed the door. Lion fell down onto the floor and thought about it. "It's not like anyone's gonna care. It's just me. No one would care," she said, trying to convince herself. She kept thinking on in her curled up state until she heard a notification from her phone. She picked it up and saw it was Katsuki. "Are you still at school?" he asked. She had the snot of her face and responded, "Yeah, I'm about to leave. No worries," she replied, shoving her phone inside her pocket and walking out to the front of the school. "Of course, one time I'll let you walk with me. You have to be late. Did you bump into someone or something?" he asked again. I looked at the ground. "Something just came up. Nothing else," she told him. "Well, I'm the best goddamn person in the school. What was so important?" he questioned me. I took a deep breath. "Someone asked me for help to put up some posters for a club." She lied to him. She gulped, hoping he would take the bait. "That's a lame excuse. But whatever. Next time I won't wait. You're looking at the next #1 hero," he boasted. Lion was able to laugh a bit. "Of course," she replied as they walked home. It was mostly Bakugou's rambling on about being the best person ever. He noticed that Lion looked more upset than usual. Lion said it was just her not having enough sleep, but his gut said otherwise. She waved goodbye before they left. The guy from earlier still made her uneasy. She wanted to skip school, but he could just be a jerk that's not too dumb. She did her homework and then fell straight to sleep. Lion woke up, she walked outside and headed to school. She tried to get into her locker, but when she opened it, there was a small note saying "slut." She rolled her eyes and threw it into the trash. Must have been the guy from yesterday, she thought. Lion took her notebook and headed to class. Little did she know, Katsuki saw it and rummaged in the garbage, looking at what it said. "Hey, dumbass," he yelled at her. She was already in her class. "Yes?" she replied. He looked more pressed up than usual. He pulled out the note from his pocket. "Who gave this to you?" he asked her. She gulped and fiddled with her hands. "Myself," she said, trying to sound convincing. He gritted his teeth. He wasn't dumb. "Fine. Keep quiet. I'll just find out my damn self," he growled, walking out of her classroom. Everyone looked at her with a few laughs here and there. Why didn't they mind their own business? She vented in her head. Lunch came soon, and Wine sat alone. It wasn't a lunch today, and 3 guys showed up in front of Wine. "What is it?" she asked them. The cocky-looking one stepped closer. "Wanna be my girlfriend? I've been feeling bored lately. In fact, since you're so desperate, why not all of us?" He spit out. Wine looked down at her food, hiding her tears. "I wouldn't date you guys. You're all jerks," she mumbled. "Huh? What was that? I thought you would agree. I've heard you doing crazy stuff just for a boyfriend. I guess since Baku can see as a girl, you've been getting desperate." The guy teased her. Mine couldn't take it. She could barely get a word out, as her mouth was dry, unlike her nose and eyes. "Can't talk? Well, I guess that's better," he said, grabbing her chin and raising her head. She slapped his hand and ran off, leaving her lunch behind. "It's only gonna be a few guys. Just a immediate group of guys," she told herself as she ran to the bathroom. "I don't think they're this ballsy," she thought, as she sat on the stall. She took out her phone and looked if Katsuki texted her. Out of all times she doesn't want to hang out, this shit happens. One mentally groaned. She stayed there until the bell rang, signaling her to rush back to class. She couldn't help but notice a few dirty looks from girls, and intimidating looks from guys. When school was over, she went to her locker, and it had some messages on it, in Sharpies. She groaned and took her backpack and left for home. After she left, Katsuki walked by and saw it. The next few days, guys would keep picking on her and pretend to ask her out. All those days, Katsuki said he wasn't coming to lunch. She was pissed and tried to keep her cool. It was Friday morning when she went to her locker, and there wasn't a thing there. "You finally got bored, huh?" As she grabbed her notebooks and headed to her classroom. Nothing on her desk today either. A sigh of relief escaped her lips as she sat down. She looked around to see everyone normal, talking to their colleagues, and not staring at her while loudly whispering. Mine went to lunch, and surprisingly, Katsuki showed up. "Did your other friends get pissed at you?" I asked him jokingly. No one would do that. "As if. Those extras are nothing without me," he answered. He looked around us several times, as if he was looking for someone in particular. "You gonna eat your food?" I asked him. He stopped scanning the area and looked at me. "Of course, you dumbass. Why else would I get at?" he asked me. I shrugged as I took another bite of my food. I swallowed that and asked him another question. "So what are you looking for exactly?" I questioned him. "Nothing. Go back to eating your food," he hissed at me. I tried to spark up a conversation, but all he would do was one-word answers, as he glared at people as usual. We skipped to the end of the day. Liam walked up to her ex-bullies and smiled. They seemed a bit frightened when she did. "You guys finally learned how dumb you guys were? Well, I'm sure you guys felt dumb too," she boasted. One of the guys furrowed his brows. "Your guard dog was kicking our asses," one guy with black hair mumbled. She laughed. "Guard dog? What do you mean?" She asked him. "Bakugou. Didn't you tell him to do it? Did you pay him or something? Do his homework?" The brown-haired fool asks. "What? He would never. Plus, he was too busy to do that anyways. Stop making excuses and just tell me the truth," she demanded. A girl rose up from her seat, clearing her throat to get her attention. "He was busy yelling at them to stop. He even cussed at me," the girl complained. A realization hit her. She widened her eyes. and hurried to Katsuki's class. "Bakugo!" She called out for him. She spotted him surrounded by a few boys. He turned his head and looked at her. "What is it, dumbass?" he asked her. The few people who were in the classroom all went silent. Let's walk home," she suggested. He clicked his tongue and agreed. Once they were a bit far away from the school, she stopped walking and tugged on her shirt. "What is it, idiot?" he growled at her. Vine let out a small giggle and smiled at him. "Thank you," she told him. "Huh? What for, dumbass?" "You scared them off, didn't you?" "I'm lucky to be friends with you, Bakugo. Really," she told him, feeling emotional as a few tears left her eyes. He never had this situation happen to him, so he panicked and wiped their tears with his sleeve. "They were just an eyesore. Nothing to do with you, dumbass. But I guess you're welcome," he replied, patting her head. "Now let's hurry up, huh? Before your mom complains about you being late again," he commanded. "You're right," she replied, with a grin appearing on her face.